In reference to how loose this girl thinks I am, I went to the account and discovered it had been an active account since 2023. I deleted her comment and tried to move on. This is my first post, as I mostly use Reddit for things like answers to random questions Google can't answer. I'm not sure if I'm posting this in the right place, but to this day I am still wildly creeped out by what happened to me. For some context, I 19F graduated high school a little over a year ago, making last September the first month at university. I lived in an apartment with 2 other girls, so naturally I didn't feel as safe as I did living back at home. Last September, I began receiving a series of weird phone calls from a random number. The phone number had the same area code as me, so I answered, assuming it was a doctor or someone I knew. The voice on the other end was a young female. She began telling me how she knew me. She listed off people I knew from high school, and then proceeded to tell me that I was a WH with a fishy kitty, if you catch my drift. I assumed it was a prank call and hung up. A few seconds later, the number called again. I was curious as to who was prank calling me, so I answered in hopes I could get her to tell me her name. She sounded angry and then proceeded to tell me she was very mad. I hung up. She made many more creepy comments about how she knew me and I was a disgusting WH. She claimed I was FKing her boyfriend. The weird thing is that she would say these things and then proceed to laugh hysterically. Now, at the time, I had been out of a relationship for about 6 months and I wasn't seeing anybody. I thought maybe she had the wrong person. My name isn't that common in my area, but I know of a few with the same name. She then called me by my full name, first, middle, and last, and repeatedly called me a WH and other insults. I hung up the phone and tried to go to sleep. Little did I know this would be a month-long battle of who did it. I began receiving threatening texts from the number, and about 20 hours today. Many of you are probably asking us, why didn't you just block the number? Maybe it's just being young and bleep, but I really wanted to know who was doing this to me, and even though I was being harassed every single day, I held on to hope that I would find out who this was. At the time, I knew the texts and calls were creepy, but I still wasn't creeped out. I finally blocked the number after realizing I was never going to find out who this was. About a week after blocking the number, I received a comment on one of my Instagram posts calling me Bagel BCH. I'm guessing in reference to how loose this girl thinks I am. I went to the account and discovered it had been an active account since 2023. I deleted her comment and tried to move on. I then received multiple comments on the same post telling me to look at my Instagram. I opened her page again to find an Instagram post of a zoomed-in photo of my face, an Instagram highlight of me, and an Instagram story. Now, at this point, I was getting actually creeped out. I blocked the account and tried to move on. A week later, my ex-boyfriend reached out to me with a screenshot of the same number that was harassing me, calling him. He asked me if I was prank calling him. He claimed that the number called him and was asking weird personal questions about me. My heart sunk into my stomach. This was when I decided to go to the police. I filed a report and an officer got back to me in about a week. He claimed that the number that had been calling me wasn't a real phone number, therefore it was untraceable. He said someone had probably downloaded an AI app to scare me and to call him if I had any more problems. He called the number and told them to stop harassing me. I think the part that actually scared me was the fact that someone hated me enough and knew me well enough to get a fake, untraceable number to harass me. To this day, I still have nightmares that there is a person out there watching me. Like, it could literally be anyone.